Yo, what is up, guys? It is Nick, or the Notorious Fantasy, back again today with the third upload of the day. If you missed any of my other uploads after this video, go down below, and while you're down below, click that subscribe button if you are new, because if you click that subscribe button, you're going to be able to win your league. I'm going to give you all the tips and tricks to win the draft, win during the regular season, pick up the players you want, and make the trades you want, and I help you with all that. I always answer the comments, so if you have a comment, you have something you want, a question to ask me, if you want me to do your draft, comment that down below. This is the second mock draft of the day. The first one was a 10-team half PPR mock draft. If you want to watch that, you can go back on the channel, like I said. But like I said here, we're doing an 18 PPR mock draft. This was requested by no one, but I noticed that it was getting a lot of views every single day on my channel, and an 18 league that I did a month ago, and I figured I would rather do an updated version of this, so that's why it's the third upload of the day. So it's an 8-team PPR league from the 7th slot. If I could choose a slot in an 8-team league, I want to go towards the back so I can get a tight end, my tight end one, Travis Kelce, early because I believe his value is so great, and I'm going to explain that once we make our pick. So we're going to begin the draft here. The first pick of the draft, Saquon Barkley, followed by Ezekiel Elliott, Alvin Kamara, Devontae Adams, Christian McCaffrey, and David Johnson. So pretty much that's pretty normal. The first three picks were pretty normal. Now, I would technically avoid Ezekiel Elliott right now because as of right now, when I'm recording this on the 2nd of August, Ezekiel Elliott is still holding out. If when you're watching this video, Ezekiel Elliott is not holding out, he's signed to he's playing with the Cowboys, then you're perfectly fine drafting him at 2. I would draft him at 2. But right there, I'd rather take a guy like Christian McCaffrey at 2 over him. So at the 7th spot, we're going to go with a wide receiver first and hope that Travis Kelce falls to us. Now, if Travis Kelce doesn't end up falling to us, we're going to go Kittle in like the 3rd round. But I would much rather just go with the top wide out here because the value at wide receiver, we're getting the second best receiver in fantasy in my opinion, DeAndre Hopkins. I'd prefer to have Adams, but Hopkins is a close number 2. If Hopkins finished ahead of Adams, I wouldn't be too surprised. Hopkins is on a great offense. He's going to get a shit ton of targets. I don't think he really is going to be as consistent as a guy like Devontae Adams, but I still like DeAndre Hopkins. After we picked DeAndre Hopkins, Le'Veon Bell came off the board, followed by Odell Beckham Jr. So now it is my pick yet again, and we are going to be going with tight end Travis Kelce. Now, the reason why I like going tight end early is because if you want in an 8-team league, I like doing this, and in a 10-team league, it's also an okay strategy. In a 12 or 14-team league, I completely avoid the strategy because getting the number 1 tight end gives you such a positional advantage in an 8-team league or a 10-team league where everyone's team is stacked. Because if you think about it, everyone's team can have great running backs or great receivers, a great quarterback, a great flex, and a great bench. Now, not everyone's going to have a great tight end because tight ends are there's so many. It's so top heavy. A guy like Travis Kelce is probably going to average around 15 points a game. Now, someone who you draft later may only get 5 or 6 or 7 points a game. Travis Kelce can also put up 25-point games or a 30-point game if he goes off, and that's entirely possible to happen in fantasy. So I think that getting a guy who could be scoring 30 points at the tight end position is giving you such an advantage over other people at the tight end position when your running backs are still going to be pretty much exactly as good as theirs. Same with the wide receiver position if you go a tight end this early in an 8-team or 10-team league. So we're going to go Travis Kelce here. So after we went Travis Kelce, Julio Jones came off the board, followed by Michael Thomas, Tyreek Hill, Juju Smith-Schuster, James Conner, Mike Evans, Damian Williams, Dalvin Cook, Joe Mixon, Todd Gurley, Antonio Brown, Melvin Gordon. Like I said, I wouldn't draft Zeke or Melvin Gordon high at all right now due to the holdout. They're just off my board. I'm not going to be the one that makes that pick. I'd rather just pick another running back around them. Todd Gurley also avoiding due to the injury, his knee arthritis. Now, in a type of 8-team league, Todd Gurley may interest me more because I know my running backs are going to be stacked, and I know that taking the risk in the 3rd round on an injury-prone player may prove to be a great pick because if he plays a lot, scores a bunch of touchdowns, and ends up being a running back 1 that I drafted in the 3rd round, then obviously has some great value. Just like another running back who goes later, Sony Michel, has the same problems with his leg always constantly getting hurt, but he also has the upside of being a top 12 running back each week. So we're going to go with a running back here now. Because we already went wide receiver first, I'd rather get, if I'm going a tight end, I want to get 1 wide receiver, a tight end, and a running back, or 2 running backs and a tight end. in an 8-team league if I go tight end. So I'd likely go running back here, like I said. So we're gonna go with Nick Chubb, the best running back available. I'm not too worried about Kareem Hunt coming back. I'm not too worried about that at all because I think Nick Chubb is gonna play 8 games or 9 games, however many games he plays before Kareem comes back, and he's going to be the solid RB1. And Kareem Hunt will obviously may vulture a touchdown or two, may come in uh, when Nick Chubb isn't on the field, but Nick Chubb's a certified running back one, and you're not making the playoffs if you don't draft the best player available at the pick. So Nick Chubb, in my opinion, is the best player available at this pick. So we're gonna go with Nick Chubb. So after we select Nick Chubb, Aaron Jones came out the board, followed by on Johnson. Now, we could go wide receiver and get a great wide out that I think could finish as a top 10 guy in Keenan Allen, but I'd much rather go with a safe running back who, in my opinion, could finish as a running back. Well, running back one, the difference is a running back one in an 8-team league is a top 8 running back. So I don't necessarily know if Marlon Mack will finish top 8. I pretty much don't think he'll do that, but I think he'll be a top end RB2, and getting that in the 4th round has great value, and Marlon Mack is very safe. So I like Marlon Mack here. After we went Marlon Mack, Keenan Allen went, followed by Amari Cooper, Stefon Diggs, Adam Thielen, Devontae Freeman, T.Y. Hilton, Pat Mahomes, George Kittle, Josh Jacobs, Leonard Fournette, Julian Edelman, Derrick Henry. So Pat Mahomes went at the 5-1. Now, in your at-home draft, if you're playing at home, you're with your friends, you're not playing with people who are super serious. If it's an 8-team league, it's not very serious, in my opinion. I play in one 8-team league. I got invited to it. I'm going to dominate that because 8-team leagues are easy to dominate, in my opinion. But it takes away a lot of the skill because your everyone's team is going to be pretty much stacked. But people who are not as good or people who don't watch my videos and understand who to pick may still fail ultimately at drafting a good team. So Pat Mahomes went the 5th pick, 5th round. He might typically go in an 8-team league. He may go in the 1st or 2nd round. In any type of league, actually, he may go in the 1st or 2nd round, and that would not surprise me. So the 5th round value of Pat Mahomes is amazing. Right here in the 5th round, I would certainly pull the trigger on a guy like Aaron Rodgers, who I think is going to be the quarterback 2 in fantasy, but I don't I don't think he'll be here in the 5th round in your real draft. So that's why I'm not going to pull the trigger here because I want to simulate what your draft will be like. And if Aaron Rodgers was here, like I said, I'd pull the trigger. But I think Aaron Rodgers is also going to go in the first 3 rounds of your at-home draft. If you're in an 8-team league, maybe in the top 2 rounds. So for that reason, we're not going to go Rodgers here, and we'll just go for either a running back here because I think that there's a fallout at running back. Actually, there really isn't because I know that there's a guy that I like at running back that will still be there most likely. So we're gonna go with wide receiver here, and we're gonna get a solid wide receiver 2 in Robert Woods. Now a lot of people like Cooks over Woods, so you probably can't go wrong with either of the two. Personally, I like Woods more because I think he's going to be more consistent this season. We got like Cooks, and Cooks has had injury problems in the past. You saw him get absolutely lit up in the Super Bowl just 2 years ago when the Eagles beat the Patriots down, and Brandon Cooks caught a body and got destroyed. Now AJ Green's going up here. AJ Green, you can't be picking him in the 5th round. AJ Green is going to be out 2-3 weeks in the season. I told you he was injury prone, but and no one really seemed to listen, and he was still going in the 4th round, and now he is injured. So I'm pretty much avoiding him. So we're just gonna go Robert Woods here. So after we picked Robert Woods, Zach Ertz went, followed by Brandon Cooks. So after Brandon Cooks went, we are now going to go running back because the running back that I wanted is still available. Now I was anticipating a guy like David Montgomery to go before we got to pick, but that's great value here in the 6th round of this draft. I like David Montgomery a lot, but before we pick David Montgomery and I explain why I want to pick him, I'm going to explain some other things. Now, we picked Kelsey in the 2nd round. We picked the first tight end, and no tight ends went until the 5th round. Kittle and Ertz. Now, you're going to have to expect that in your at-home league, a guy like Ertz or Kittle may end up going just after Travis Kelsey. Travis Kelsey may even get picked in the 1st round in this. I would even pull the trigger in the 1st round in this for Travis Kelsey. But a guy like Kittle or Ertz going that late, like I said, the positional advantage is still pretty strong with a guy like Kittle and Ertz. Not as strong as with Kelsey, but at the same time, still pretty good value in the 5th round. I'd even pull a trigger in the 3rd or 4th round for a guy like Kittle. I don't like Ertz that much, so I'd probably just wait on that position if that is what happened, and I wasn't able to get Kittle or Kelsey. So we're gonna go with a running back here, and I'm gonna go with David Montgomery. Now, David Montgomery is a guy that you're not gonna be able to start most likely the first 3 weeks because I don't know how the offense is gonna play. Now, in preseason, we may be able to easily see that how they're gonna use David Montgomery during the games. But right now, I don't know if he's gonna be just thrown into the role like I want him to be. I don't think he's eventually going to be in the Jordan Howard position last year, but he's better than Jordan Howard because he can catch passes. He can run out. He can run the ball better than Jordan Howard can. He can catch the ball better than Jordan Howard can. And I think that he's going to be right here. It says that they have him at their projected is 13 attempts a game. I think he'd be a 15 or 16 attempt guy that you're finding so late in the draft in the 6th round in an 18 league. After we selected David Montgomery, Philip Lindsay came off the board, followed by A.J. Green, Mark Ingram, Cooper Kupp, Calvin Ridley, Chris Godwin, Kenny Galladay, Andrew Luck, James White, Jarvis Landry, DJ Moore. So, right now, even though this is a 10 or even though this is an 8 team league, I still like drafting a lot of running backs because even though you can still find a okay running back, I guess, to pick up on the waiver wire, the wide receivers are going to be able to pick up on the waiver wire are going to be even better. They're going to be guys that could be wide receiver twos, your flex, pretty much every single week you can find on the waiver wire. Same with quarterback. That's why I won't necessarily pull the trigger so early unless Rodgers was there in like the 5th or 6th round, because the quarterbacks, most likely, not everyone's going to draft the backup quarterback. And even if they do, that's only 16 quarterbacks taken off the board because 8 times 2 is 16. And there's still going to be 16 other guys on the board because there's 32 teams that are on starting teams that you can easily find someone every single week that will be a quarterback one on the waiver wire. So it doesn't even worry me too much about pulling the trigger on a quarterback so early. So we are going to go with the running back that I want here and then go with the wide receiver that I want because I think that if I don't pick Chris Carson here, he will be gone. Now, Chris Carson is on a run heavy offense of the Seattle Seahawks. They very run heavy. Him and Penny are going to be touching the rock a lot every single game. Week 1, they're playing the Bengals. Chris Carson's going to fucking destroy the Bengals. Week 1. The Bengals have a shitty defense against the run, according to last year, and I think still probably going to be pretty similar this year. But obviously, they probably have better coaching, so that could have an impact on that. But throughout the whole season, the Seahawks are going to be pretty run heavy. They're going to be a team that has a lot of upside. And sorry if you heard my phone ring there. That is my bad. But I think Chris Carson is going to be a solid option in the 7th round here. I take him every single time, even though I only have 2 wide receivers. He's going to be a guy that could be a top a wide receiver, not a wide receiver two, a running back two in an 8 team league, and he has a lot of upside because of how much they're going to be running the ball. So I like Chris Carson here, even though he's slightly injury prone. After we went Chris Carson, Aaron Rodgers went, followed by Tyler Lockett. Now it's our pick. So our wide receiver that I thought was going to be taken hasn't even been taken, and that is Mr. Tyler Boyd. Tyler Boyd is on an offense of the Bengals where they got rid of their shitty coach. They got rid of their shitty coordinator in it's Marvin Jones their coach. Their coordinator was or I don't know if he was their fucking coordinator. I forgot. But Hugh Jackson was helping coach that team. 2 absolute idiots were coaching the Bengals towards the end of the year. Now they're all gone. He kicked them to the curb. They're the fuck out of there. And now they've got a new coach. They have Andy Dalton, who is a lot more healthy now. And when Tyler Boyd was the one when AJ Green was hurt last year, and Andy Dalton was not the quarterback. They had their backup in. So now Tyler Boyd is going to be playing with a healthy Andrew Luck, and I believe that Tyler Boyd will probably be the wide receiver one on the team for the first 3 weeks, and then AJ Green will come back, and then he'll inevitably get turf toe, or he'll be tying up his fucking laces to come play, and he'll fucking break his leg or something. So, because AJ Green is just that injury prone, and Tyler Boyd I like a lot this late in the draft. So after we went Tyler Boyd, OJ Howard was picked, followed by Hunter Henry, Sony Michel, Mike Williams, Alshon Jeffrey, Evan Ingram, Tevin Coleman, Tariq Cohen, Houston quarterback, Deshaun Watson, Lamar Miller, Matt Ryan, Baker Mayfield. And now it is our pick. So we are going to go with we currently have we got 2, 3, 4 running backs, 3 receivers, no quarterback, no tight end. We don't have to worry too much about that because Vance McDonald will be there 2 rounds later probably. So we're just going to go with another wide receiver who I think could finish as a top 25 guy. and that's Dante Pettis. Dante Pettis is last year he played with Nick Mullins and played pretty good a majority of the year when he was playing. He didn't understand the playbook at the beginning of the season. Pretty much all of last year, Dante Pettis said he didn't understand the playbook, and he was playing with a shitty quarterback in Nick Mullins. Now he is sexy Jimmy Garoppolo back, who, in my opinion, I don't like him too much in fantasy, but in real life, he's obviously a huge step up from Nick Mullins, who wasn't even verified until they played that night game where he got verified in the middle of the game. So I like Dante Pettis here. Honorable mention for this pick. If you like Robbie Anderson, you could also go with Robbie Anderson here, but I would much rather go with a guy that I think is on a team that will be better than the Jets and the 49ers. But the Jets, obviously, Robbie Anderson had a great connection with Sam Darnold, so you could also look towards Robbie Anderson's way. I wouldn't mind doing that. But we went Pettis. So after we went Pettis, Robbie Anderson went followed by Darius Guice. And now we're going to hop back on the running back train because there's going to be quarterbacks back here in the 11th or 12th round that I still like. So we're going to go with a running back here, and we're going to go with. We're not going to go with a handcuff here because we already have Carson. So I think Penny has standalone value, but you're not going to be starting Carson and Penny at the exact same time. And you don't really need a handcuff in an 18 league for a guy like Carson, who's a bench player. So we're just going to go with Austin. We're going to go with Darrell Henderson here. Darrell Henderson could be in a great spot this year due to the fact that Todd Gurley hurt his leg or he has that knee arthritis, and we don't know, he may be sidelined every couple of games. He may not be playing that much in certain games. Now we do know that if the Rams were to be down, Todd Gurley will be in there trying to score. But in games where they're up big, Henderson, like many games they could be in, Henderson will be starting and be running the ball a lot because they said Todd Gurley would be fine last year, right, during the Super Bowl. Todd Gurley got 5 touches or some crazy shit. Like, he didn't do anything. They're saying he's healthy now. I don't believe he's healthy. Todd Gurley himself said he'll see how his leg feels. Very confusing how his knee feels, his leg. You just don't want any of that. So Darrell Henderson could be great value here in the 10th round, and I'm definitely paying the price for Darrell Henderson here. So after we went Darrell Henderson, Al Robinson went followed by Austin Eckler, Christian Kirk, Eric Ebron, Latavius Murray, Rashad Penny, Will Fuller, Larry Fitz, Geronimo Allison, Jared Cook, Jordan Howard, Kareem Hunt. So, like I said, the tight end I wanted would fall to us. One, oh no, what am I saying? We already have a tight end. We already have Kelsey, so you don't need a backup tight end when we already have Kelsey. So that would have been a stupid pick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 quarterbacks already off the board. Now, in my opinion, most likely right here, all the quarterbacks have been taken. Every team has a quarterback, most likely at this point, and people might have even started taking backup quarterbacks in your 8-team league at home. So we're gonna pull the trigger on a guy that I think has super high upside, and if he doesn't end up working out, you just fucking cut him and pick up Josh Allen or something. And that's Kyler Murray. Now Kyler Murray is a rookie, obviously, the Heisman winner from last year, and I believe that Kyler Murray, they picked him so highly. They picked him at number one, the Cardinals' number one pick. They shipped Josh Rosen off to Miami. Now he's on my team, and Kyler Murray is going to be a great weapon for fantasy football. He is going to run the ball a lot, and like a lot of experts say in fantasy, not running quarterbacks are cheat codes. He's going to be, because if he runs the game, like it says, his projections per game, 30 rush yards, right? 30 rush yards is 3 points, right? But 30 passing yards is 1 point because it's 1 point per 25 passing yards. So guys that run the ball more have more value in the because they get more points for running than throwing. But now you might think, oh well, Kyler Murray, can he throw the ball? Yes, Kyler Murray can throw the ball. He's not like Lamar Jackson, who's just going to rely on his legs a lot and not pass the ball as much. Kyler Murray has a great arm. Kyler Murray can scramble. So he'll be able to run out of the pocket and delay the defense in getting him, and he'll be able to make great passes. So I believe that Kyler Murray here in the 11th round is definitely worth your pick. So after we went Kyler Murray, Miles Sanders went, followed by Chicago Bears defense. Don't pick the defense before the last round. I understand that getting the best defense in an 8-team league could be advantageous, but I'd rather just stream them because there's probably going to be only 8 defenses owned in the league, so you can just pick up one every week. That is going to be a great defense to start. So that we have 2 bench spots left. We have our quarterback. We got our whole starting lineup, and we got 2 bench spots left. So we're going to go with one more running back and one more wide receiver because I like to finish with more running backs than receivers. And we currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 running backs and 1, 2, 3, 4 receivers. So we're going to have 6 running backs and 5 receivers, I believe, based upon my math. So we're going to go with a guy that has a lot of value, and that is Royce Freeman. I like him more than Rojo because I think the reports came out and said that it's going to be a 50-50 split in Denver between Philip Lindsay and Royce Freeman. I think Royce Freeman is going to get a hold of these 50% of touches and really put in work like he couldn't do last year because Philip Lindsay played so phenomenal. Philip Lindsay was undrafted. He played out of his mind, and I don't believe he'll play as great this season. So I'm just going to avoid Philip Lindsay like I do in every single draft. You never see me taking Philip Lindsay, and I'd rather just take a guy like Royce Freeman later, who's going to be a 50% get 50% of the touches and potentially be a great steal this late in the draft. So after we went Royce Freeman, Sammy Watkins came off the board, followed by Jalen Samuels, Drew Brees, MVS, D.D. Westbrook, LaShawn McCoy, Sterling Shepard, Marvin Jones, Ronald Jones, David Njoku, Vance McDonald, Carson Wentz. People are starting to take backup quarterbacks. We don't take a backup quarterback in this type of league. And then we're going to take a flyer. Now, we already have DeAndre Hopkins, so in my opinion, Kiki Kuti, we're just not going to draft two wide receivers on the same team in an 8-team league. And if it's a 12 or 14 team league, I'm perfectly fine doing that. I did that earlier in the mock from today. So we're just going to go with a guy who is a guy that I never draft. And I don't really like drafting him, but since it's an 8-team league, he has a lot more value because I know for a fact that this guy's either going to be boom or bust. He may suck cock, like I believe. I don't think Corey Davis is very good, but he is the opportunity. He's the wide receiver one on a team that really needs a star. And if Corey Davis can somehow put it together this year, he will be worth this 13th round pick. Now, typically I'd go with Curtis Samuel or DK Metcalf or someone like this, but we'll go with Corey Davis because I think he has super high upside being the wide receiver one, like I said, and he needs to really put it together because otherwise his career's over. So he better put it together this year. So we're going to go with Corey Davis. So after we went Corey Davis, DK Metcalf went, followed by Greg Zuerlein. So now we're going to pick our defense. And like I said, you're going to want to pick the best defense for week one. I don't know if I've said that already. You want to pick the best defense for week one, and then you just try, because the way you figure out which defense can be best for week one is you find a defense that's playing against a shitty offense. Like the Cowboys, they're playing a shitty offense in the Giants week one. And then week two, they have a good matchup too. And if they don't have a good matchup week two, the defense you find, then you just cut them and find a new one. So we're going to find the way you draft the defense pretty much is drafting a defense that's playing against a shitty offense week one. So we're going to go with the Cowboys here. After we went with the Cowboys, I'm going to only say real players here. If any real players get taken, but I don't think there will be any real players taken. So we're just going to go with a kicker here with our last pick, obviously, because you need to fill out the whole lineup. In Sleeper, actually, you don't have to fill out the whole lineup. So if you're drafting in Sleeper, I wouldn't draft a defense or a kicker, but I feel like I'm shorting you of understanding the defensive strategy or the kicker strategy, which there is no strategy with the kicker. You just pick the best kicker available. So Jake Elliott. And then Jared Goff was the last pick for this guy's team. So our starting lineup is Kyler Murray, Nick Chubb, Marlon Mack, DeAndre Hopkins, Robert Woods, Travis Kelce, David Montgomery. Our kicker is Jake Elliott, and our defense is Dallas Cowboys. Our bench is Chris Carson, Tyler Boyd, Dante Pettis, Henderson, Royce Freeman, and Corey Davis. So thank you guys all for watching the video. If you enjoyed, please click that subscribe button down below. And because I want you guys to win your league, and if you subscribe, you're going to have a higher chance of doing that because I'm going to give you all the tips, the tricks, and all the know-hows on what to do. And when you're down there, leave a comment about what kind of draft you want me to do. If you liked the video, you hated the video, you can even click the dislike button if you didn't enjoy it, but click the like because I know you fucking enjoyed it. So have a great goddamn day, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow on Sunday, I believe. Bye, guys.